Now, there's nothing to brighten up your day like waking up in Ireland and seeing that the sun, you know that thing, that big ball in the sky, is out.
Like today, but as we try and make the most of the good weather, are we doing enough to protect our skin? Our resident GP, Dr. Brian Higgins, is here with some advice. Good morning, Brian. Great to have you in.
Brian.
How are you?
On this glorious day, very appropriate.
Yeah,
we're all delighted to see the sun, but we potentially don't protect ourselves enough from the sun. Why is it harmful, first of all? Let's break it down.
So I thought it was a good time to come on and talk about just your skincare. So everyone loves sunshine. It's amazing. And actually, as human beings, you know, just naturally we're made so that the sun makes us feel better. But the problem is especially here in Ireland, we get it so rarely that when we tend to get it, we tend to maybe get a little bit too much of it. So, and that can cause quite a bit of damage. Quite a bit of the light that comes to the sun is invisible light, called UV or UV radiation or ultraviolet radiation, which can cause quite a bit of skin damage. So it's just about protecting ourselves from it.
And of course, the big thing, I suppose, for a lot of us, and people my vintage particularly, is that the sun actually has a big effect on your ageing.
Yes. So we used to always talk about UVB. So there's three types of UV radiation. UVA, well, basically three types: UVA, UVB, UVC. UVC is extremely toxic and is mainly blocked out by the ozone layer. So that's what causes a lot of skin cancer, say, in Australia, where there's a thinning of the ozone layer. The other two are UVB and UVA. We always talk about UVB, B for burning, and that's where the sun creams are for, and that's what we always thought about. But now we're starting to realise that UVA and A for ageing causes quite a lot more skin damage.
There's so many different types of skin type among us all. And so some are more susceptible to sun damage.
Yeah.
And some have, I suppose, is it stronger melanin in their bodies? Or how is Ian dark from this week and I'm not?
So there's 5 or 6 different types of skin types, depending on who you ask. And they range from skin type 1, which is extremely fair, red-haired, which is kind of never tans, always burns.
Yeah.
And type 6, which is extremely dark skin, pigmented, which really kind of never burns, if you like. Most people here in Ireland, or most Celts really, are all think they're type 3, which is tans easily and doesn't burn that well, but most of us are type 1 and 2, which means that we're very sensitive to UV radiation and will burn quite easily.
And who's this girl? Is that yourself?
Blake Lively.
That's Blake Lively, skin type 2, I believe.
So she's kind of fairly similar to the rest of us in Ireland.
Usually burns, gradually tans. That'd be me, whereas you have sallow skin, you just tan straight away.
I tan, I tend to anyway, yeah. And so I'm more like, what's her name?
Sandra, you're Sandra.
I can't remember anybody's names this morning.
You're Sandra and Blake, love that. But with regards to looking after our skin and sun factor, you know, we read everywhere that the sun is good for us, so we don't want to completely block it out. No,
absolutely. So the sun is really good. Sun helps us produce, the big thing is vitamin D in the prevention of osteoporosis, and actually is associated with a few other diseases as well. So we need a little bit of sunshine to help us create vitamin D in our bodies. How much sun, you know, who knows? But the problem is that we get sun in excess, so it's about getting an imbalance. When people think of sun protection, we always think of sun creams.
Yes.
And actually, that's quite far down the line. The main things is actually avoidance. It's avoiding the sunshine when the radiation is the highest, and that's between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m.
So mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Yes,
exactly, yeah. The second thing then is just to seek the shade. The third then is to cover up and wear kind of sunglasses with UVA and UVB protection. And the last thing then is to put your sun cream on.
And is it true that most of the sun damage occurs in the first 20 years of your life?
Yeah, so about 80% of your sun damage occurs in the first 20 years of your life.
So I was brought up in the 70s, so it was going to go out there and play and you'd be grand, you know, and there wasn't a thought of sun cream, so I probably have lots of skin damage. Here's a question for you. If you need to produce vitamin D, you need the sun, right? If you layer yourself in sun cream, cover in the hats, all the rest, and you go out in the sun, are you still going to make vitamin D?
The thing about vitamin D is scientists really aren't sure right now how exactly we make vitamin D. There was a really interesting study done in Australia a few years ago, and it looked at the difference between surfers and lifeguards.
Yes.
And actually, surfers had quite lower vitamin D to the lifeguards, and that was because maybe they were in the water. So, and that this vitamin D is maybe created very superficially on the skin,
right,
and then can be washed off quite easily before it's absorbed. So the truth is we don't really know. So what I would always say is just supplement your vitamin D. Everyone should really be doing it in Ireland, especially during the winter months. And then just getting a moderate amount of sun.
The sun also causes very harmful illnesses, obviously skin cancer being the leading cause. And I was really shocked to see the statistics of this country in particular.
Absolutely. So UV radiation causes the most amount of skin cancer in Ireland. When we think of skin cancer, we always think of breast cancer and prostate cancer. That's what everyone's always really worried about, and rightfully so. But UV radiation causes the most type of cancer. There's about 10,000 people per year in Ireland develop non-melanoma skin cancer, and about 1,000 develop melanoma every year.
Which is the really serious one.
Which is 1 in 6 men. And 1 in 9 women over the course of their lives.
Now, a lot of that, I suppose, can be traced back to the fact that a lot of, well, a portion of men would work outside, a lot of farmers, construction workers, these sort of people, and probably with that kind of hard man attitude, I don't bother that I was sun cream, that's only for women, you know. So, and that is probably a part of the problem. Absolutely.
So the two different types of skin cancers, both are created can be predisposed to in childhood from really bad burns and in adulthood from really bad burns. What you tend to find is the non-melanoma skin cancers, these things called SCCs and BCCs, and we can chat about these again, tend to occur in the areas that are really chronically exposed to sunshine, which is the face and the hands. Whereas your non-melanoma skin cancers, they really come up like a strange sort of mole, and they can occur due to chronic sun exposure, or you can even find people develop them after a very bad burn.
So if you have moles, get them checked, keep an eye on them, make sure that there's no irregularities, no different changes as the years go on.
And how about the melanoma skin cancer that occurs in the face and hands? What's the first sign of those?
Melanoma as well. Melanoma can occur anywhere.
Right.
And there's a couple of different types of melanoma. I would get a lot of people coming into me worried about a mole. And this is probably something worth talking about again, because there's quite a bit in it. The thing is a changing mole. A mole that just looks funny, or a mole that's bigger than, say, the size of a shirt button. That's new or changing. Just get your doctor to check it out.
So we'll definitely talk about that again, because there's an awful lot there. But thank you very much. Essentially, stay out of the sun during the harmful hours of 11 to 3 and wrap up with a hat and a lot of sun factor, SPF.
Very good.
Yeah,
Thanks,
and the right amount of SPF, just in case anyone wants to know, put it on 20 minutes before you go into the sunshine. For the body, about a shot glass or a golf ball sized amount, and for the face, about a teaspoon.
Yeah,
Lovely. Good to know those
measures.
measures.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.